build this?
What was that?
What was what? Just shine it here so I can see what I'm doing.
Hello and welcome to GamesRadar's Until Dawn video review. I'm Andy Hartup, Executive Editor on GamesRadar, and I'm joined by Louise Blaine, who is our news lead on
Hello.
GamesRadar. Now, Lou, we've both been playing the game,
have.
but you wrote the review.
Yes.
So let's start top line. How does Until Dawn work as a horror game?
As a horror game, basically you've got the setup kind of the same as Heavy Rain, so you've got an interactive horror adventure. That's how they've been really focusing that you can play it in multiple different ways. You have your set of teenagers that are in a cabin in the woods in the snow. There's no mobile phone reception. They're away from everything, and there are nasty things.
So this is a complicated question, but is it good?
Yes, it's good. It's as a horror game, and I'm very aware of all the spoilers that we can't discuss. As a horror game, it delivers scares, it delivers shocks. It's got great pacing. Some of it is truly terrifying, but it's not without its problems, as you would expect, perhaps. And perhaps you've already seen the score at the top of this page, so it's not perfect.
No, I think for me as well, like playing through it, like as a horror game, it is fantastic, but. We can't talk about it, and we don't want to talk about the spoilers, because if you know what's coming, then that will sort of ruin and colour your enjoyment of the game
entirely.
Because it is a game predicated largely on choices, right?
Yeah, entirely. That's the thing. The whole point of horror is investigating the unknown. And the minute you start talking about a horror game and you start talking about the unknown, you lift all the layers. You begin to see all the surprises. So what you want and what you'll be able to want to do is, you don't really want to read this review, but you do because you want to know how good it is. But you want to experience it for yourself. And to experience it for yourself in Until Dawn, it gives you multiple choices and ways to do things. It gives you QTEs to fire in stressful situations. It gives you, do you want to run or do you want to hide? All those situations that you see characters in movies such as Scream, you're the one that's making the choices, and that's part of the most exciting part of it, really. We can't really talk about how your choices matter, but they do matter. You've got relationships to kind of...
I know. It's difficult to talk about it without giving too much away.
We're dancing around it.
Yeah, we have to do a lot of dancing in this review. So tell me a little bit about the characters. Now, I found the characters largely to be insufferable douchebags.
Yes.
But they're meant to be, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely meant to be. I mean, that's kind of the horror thing. You're meant to be introduced to a set of teenagers, some of whom are kind of acceptable. You know, you've got Hayden Panettiere, who's, Sam, she plays, and she's not insufferable. But then you've got a couple of characters that really you're not meant to like. And you're not really meant to like many horror characters because they're lambs to the slaughter. You're meant to be able to... they're meant to be disposable characters that you don't really mind praying victim to something particularly grim.
So tell us a little bit. I think we can sort of talk around like the actual death scenes and like the actual gore of the game.
Yes.
I mean, for me, the death scenes were quite grisly and felt quite satisfying.
Oh, good. Really, really. They've seen lots of horror films. That's the thing. You can tick off all the horror films that you've possibly seen, and chances are this has seen them too. And this has decided to really... They're very pretty teenagers, but not for long if you do make the wrong choices, which are particularly satisfying crunch to them when they eventually if they do pop their clogs, because you can survive. It might just be difficult.
Now, do you think, because it's a full price game,
Yes.
it's been in development a long time,
Yes.
do you think it's worth the $40, $50, £40, £50, whatever people will pay for it?
And that's the problem. That's why this score is not higher. While this game is really scary, it's really fun, it is 7-8 hour experience, and it's something that you're not going to want to replay. I mean, you and I have both played Telltale games. They are £15 for your whole season. You get the same amount of enjoyment out of that and the same amount of time for significantly less outlay. I mean, this week especially, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid has probably a couple of 100 hours in there, however many hours you're going to put in. Until Dawn is the same price as that game. It's the same price as The Witcher. It looks wonderful. It feels lovely. It's really good fun, but it is short, and your replay value isn't going to be... You're not going to want to replay, really.
Yeah. So I think if you're into horror and you've got a lot of money, then it's for
then
you.
it's great. Yeah, if you're into your scares, if you like your horror, if you love your atmosphere, you'll love it. And as horror fans, a 3-star or a 3.5-star horror movie is the best one. They're the good ones. So if you have it pre-ordered, do not panic. You've not got a bad game. by in any means, but in terms of the price point as it stands, it's an expensive experience.
It is. So that's 3.5 stars for Until Dawn. Check out the review if you haven't already on GamesRadar.com.
Enjoy.
Hey, did you see that? Dad said it'd just be us this weekend.
That was a pretty sweet video, right? If you want to see more, go to GamesRadar's YouTube page over here. Or if you want to read, maybe up your game a little bit, go to GamesRadar.com.